The ocean has a way of keeping secrets. Not small secrets, not things that fade with time, but the kind that stay buried for decades, sometimes centuries, with no explanation, no closure, and no trace of what really happened. In the winter of 1921, the Atlantic Ocean took 11 men and gave nothing back. No bodies, no wreckage, no final message, only a ship left behind. It was early morning when the shape appeared through the fading fog off the coast of North Carolina. At first, it didn't seem unusual. Ships passed through those waters all the time. Some ran aground, some struggled through storms. But this one was different. It wasn't fighting the sea. It wasn't trying to escape. It was just sitting there, silent. The sails were still raised, snapping violently in the cold January wind. Waves crashed against its wooden hull, sending spray across the deck, again and again. But nothing moved. No crew, no voice, no signal. Just a ship that looked alive, but felt completely dead. When rescuers finally managed to reach it days later, they expected chaos. Maybe survivors hiding below deck. Maybe injured sailors waiting for help. Instead, the moment they stepped on board, something felt wrong. Not just empty, but abandoned. As if everyone had left at once and never came back. The first thing they noticed was the silence. Not the peaceful kind, but the heavy, uncomfortable kind. The kind that makes you feel like you're somewhere you shouldn't be. Then they started to look around. In the galley, food had been prepared. Not spoiled beyond recognition, not forgotten for weeks. It looked recent. Meals were ready to be served. Cooking utensils were still in place. Even coffee had been made. It was as if someone had been in the middle of a normal day and then suddenly stopped. Not slowly, not carefully, just stopped. Elsewhere on the ship, 3 cats wandered weakly across the deck, hungry, confused, crying out for food that would never come. They were the only living beings left. Everything else was gone. The crew's belongings had disappeared. Every bag, every personal item, every piece of luggage, taken. This wasn't a rushed escape. Whoever left this ship had time. Time to gather what mattered. Time to prepare. Time to leave properly. And that made it worse, because it meant they didn't leave in panic. They chose to leave. Then came the part that didn't make sense. The ship itself had been sabotaged. The steering wheel broken. The compass destroyed. The entire navigation system disabled. Someone had made sure this ship could not be controlled. Not damaged by accident. Not worn down by the sea. Destroyed on purpose. It was as if the ship had been pointed directly toward danger and then abandoned to its fate. Like a message or a cover-up. By the time anyone discovered it, the ship had already run aground on one of the most dangerous stretches of water. Coast. A place sailors feared for a reason. Strong currents, unpredictable weather, shifting sandbars that could trap even the most experienced crews. They called it the graveyard of the Atlantic. Hundreds of ships had been lost there. But this one was different, because ships don't usually arrive empty. To understand what happened, you have to go back months earlier, when everything still seemed normal. The ship had set sail in perfect condition. Strong, well-built, fully crewed. It carried cargo across the ocean without issue. But somewhere along the journey, things started to change. The captain wasn't the original one. He had taken over after the previous captain fell ill. He was experienced, respected, but older. His eyesight wasn't what it used to be. And the man working under him, the first mate, wasn't the kind of person you wanted tension with. He was known for drinking, known for having a temper, and known for believing he deserved more power than he had. That tension grew. Arguments, disagreements, a struggle for control. At one point while the ship was docked, the first mate reportedly made a statement that would later haunt investigators. He said he would deal with the captain before the journey ended. At the time, it may have sounded like anger, Later, it sounded like a warning. After that, things became unclear. When the ship was seen again near the American coast, something was already wrong. A man was shouting from on board, but it wasn't the captain. The crew looked disorganized, out of place, almost like the chain of command had collapsed. And then, not long after, the ship was seen again, heading straight toward danger. No one visible, no attempt to change course, no effort to stop what was coming. And then it vanished into the fog. Days later, it returned, empty. So what happened to the 11 men who were supposed to be on that ship? The most common explanation is simple, too simple. A mutiny. Captain took control, and then abandoned the ship. But that doesn't explain everything. If they left in lifeboats, where did they go? The shore wasn't far. They should have made it, but no one ever found them. No bodies washed ashore, no wreckage from the boats, no signs they ever existed beyond that moment. It's as if the ocean swallowed them completely. Another possibility is that something forced them off the ship. Not weather, not an accident, something deliberate. But there was no sign of struggle, no evidence of attack, no proof anyone else had even been there. Just silence, and a ship that still looked ready to continue its journey, if only someone had been there to steer it. Over time, the investigation faded. Leads went nowhere. Theories fell apart, and the ship itself was eventually destroyed, taking whatever answers it still held with it. All that remains now is the story. A ship found intact, food left behind, steering destroyed, simply disappeared. No ending, no conclusion, just a mystery that refuses to be solved. And somewhere out there, beyond the shifting currents and cold Atlantic waters, whatever really happened that night, I'm still waiting.